They just came on now. Let's try get closer to the stage. Sorry. Excuse me. I just get by you there. Thanks a million.
Do you want to go on my shoulders?
What?
Sorry. Do you want to go on my shoulders?
Yeah, that'd be unreal. Thanks. Wow.
3 celebrates connections made by music this summer. Find out more at 3.ie/music.
And welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. Dr. Lopkin, are you there?
I'm here.
Excellent. So, again, very exciting week. A lot of things going on, especially in politics, and in particular, the Mueller investigation and the Comey book. I think they go hand to hand a little bit, and I wonder, first of all, your comments on the Comey book.
Well, the Comey book is definitely related to the investigation because in the book and in his interviews promoting the book, Comey has stated flat out that he leaked documents for the sole purpose of creating a need for a special investigator. So he wanted this investigation, not knowing what it would find.
I understand. Now, the problem with that I have is, who's going to rescue Trump? It doesn't even seem like his own party. He doesn't even have allies in his own party that are going to put the brakes on this fiasco, which it is.
I don't think anybody's going to rescue him. I think it's going to go the distance. The thing is, they've already shot themselves in the foot, and Comey himself provided one of the nails in the coffin for the Mueller investigation, because a number of lawyers have already gone on TV, in the press, talking about how Comey's book essentially proves that the Justice Department was biased against Trump and that they were set out to keep him from being president.
Okay, but he needs an ally. My point is, let's say if it was a Democrat or even a Republican, I'm talking about an establishment figure, there would be an outcry from his or her party to stop it, but there is none. So this thing goes in for forever, and I think eventually it'll find something. You throw enough crap against the wall, something's going to stick.
If they haven't found something now, they have to find it quickly, because the DNC today put a timetable on all of this.
The DNC?
The DNC filed a lawsuit against the Trump campaign, claiming if it weren't for his Russian contacts, they would have won the election. Because they filed this in court, now there's a timetable with discovery, and they've got to turn over anything they've got. So
that boggles the mind. I was not aware of that. I mean,
it just happened today.
What was the motivation of the DNC to do that?
I have no idea.
Because there's no collusion. I mean, everyone knows that. It's ridiculous. And to say that she would have won.
They haven't found anything for collusion. They haven't found anything for obstruction. I cannot understand why the DNC chose to file this court case. I find it absolutely hysterical, given that they rigged their own primary against Bernie Sanders, that they're now going to court to prove the election was rigged against them.
Who is behind this? Who's the genius behind this? Perez, the head of the Democratic Party?
I have no idea. The only information I've gotten so far is that the court case was filed.
Well, let's just talk about how does this impair, or does it impair, Trump going forward? Because, I mean, this whole scenario is very perplexing to me to begin with. First of all, what is all the outrage about Trump? I mean, why are the Democrats? It's because they lost, or have they gone so far to the left that anyone that even resembles anything normal is an outrage to them? Has it gotten that bad?
I think it's a couple of things. First of all, I honestly do believe they thought that this was basically a coronation for Hillary Clinton. And they cannot accept that she lost. Then you've got the fact that Trump is an outsider, and he did not, during the campaign, play by traditional political rules.
And that's why both sides of the aisle despise him.
Yes, he ran his campaign as a marketing campaign.
Yes, it was a marketing campaign, but also he's getting things done and going against, he's going with America first, and the establishment is not America first. It's corporate interest and globalism first. They need to stop him. That's really what's going on here.
All right, and what I find amusing is that one of the things that they keep arguing about, both the Democrats and the Republicans, that they get so angry about, is that Trump is actually keeping the promises he made on the campaign trail.
Well, yeah, and I think really as we wrap this up, I believe that they're scared, you know what, Liz, that he's going to prove both of the parties as incompetent. Because even with the limited success he's had and being fought tooth and nail from establishment, from the resistors, the Democrats, and establishment Republicans like McCain, he's accomplished a lot. The economy is now good. Foreign relations, at least America's respected. Is he not, as we close, proving the establishment as incompetent?
He really is. I mean, there have been people from the Obama administration that keep going on the news and saying, what he's doing is bad for America. And I've seen a number of reporters actually say to them, well, but what you did didn't work.
Oh, yeah. No, when I see someone from the Obama, and there's this woman, she's very attractive. I think that's in part how she got the job, because she was part of the sorority sisters, his foreign policy team, which is nothing short of a disaster. And she gets on the air, criticizing Trump. I go, I feel like calling in and saying, are you crazy? Like, you were part of the biggest, worse than Jimmy Carter, potentially, his foreign policy. Correct, as we close?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact of the matter is, in terms of foreign policy,
maybe the biggest disaster in my lifetime was
Donald Trump
Obama.
Is the only president that has gotten North Korea to come to the table,
and they are scared again of that happening, because again, proving 40 years of incompetency for what it was. Remember,
exactly.
He was a whack job. He's unhinged. But hey, all these nicey. You never learned from Chamberlain back in the 30s. But guess what? Coddling psychopaths doesn't really work, genius, your Harvard intelligentsia. Well, Dr. Lopkin, that concludes another edition of Carnivore Bites. A lot on the docket today, and I'm sure going forward it'll remain the same.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
You've been listening to Carnivore Radio's podcast. You can catch us here every week. Carnivore Radio is part of the Xvadio podcast network. You can listen to the podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Xvadio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can listen to us live every Friday at 4 o'clock on WESU 88.1 Middletown, Connecticut. You can also catch us online at WESUFM.org. We look forward to hearing from you, and see you next week.